Hi, this is Nick George with Cloud Diamond Sharpening, just to show you a video on clipper repair and what we do to repair your clippers, and we're going to show you why it's important and why you should get your clippers serviced to save you money in the long run and keep your job fun and working well. So we fix all clippers that have parts available, or if you can get the parts, I can fix it no matter what. So just go ahead and send it on to me and we'll take a look at it. And so what's good about using our services is we make sure these things run like new when they're done, or better than new. We check everything from the lever to the hinge to the motor. We clean the motor out, the carbon. You don't want it to build up around the motor. It causes a lot of heat, and then this clipper is no good anymore. So I give free estimates. Just send them on in, and in general 90% of repairs are under 50% of the cost of a new clipper, and most are around 30 to 50, depending on if you oil your blade and get it sharpened regularly. Because the easier these work, the longer they'll last. If you don't put a lot of pressure on this, then this motor will last a long time. It will run cooler and everything. And what that consists of is your blade being sharpened and oiled all the time. When a blade goes to oil, you shouldn't use it anymore. It's gonna pull hair, and it's actually damaging your clipper. So your blade won't cut correctly if your clipper is not running right. So if your clipper is broken in the front up here, like this bearing is broken or this is wore out, well, it's going to leave lines or pull hair. And even with a sharp blade, it still will not work. So it's important to get these serviced and get the carbon cleaned out of the motors and replace parts that are broken before something breaks back here and then breaks up here, and then all of a sudden you're buying a whole new motor because you didn't address one of these breaks before it ruined the motor. So it's very important to have your clippers serviced. I recommend, if you use them every day, at least every 6 months. And if you don't use them every day, you can go up to a year, or depending on if you keep the blades clean and oiled. I've seen clippers that are about 30 years old and still going. I have one. My test clipper is about 30 years old and it's still going, and I check blades with it all day, every day. So let's get down to work. First, we'll give these free estimates. And like I said, in general, if you keep your blades oiled and sharpened, clippers just need the carbon cleaned out. Sometimes you won't even have to replace these if you're engaging it while it's running. It doesn't round the tips. Now if you're getting round tips, maybe your latch is broken and it's lifting up from this lever and rounding the tip. You don't want that either. So it's important that all these parts are working correctly. If you have too old of a hinge and it's dented on the sides because you engage so many blades, well, this hinge will go bad. But that's minimal. If you just replace the hinge, the drive every time, that's about I'm not quite sure, about a $40 repair, and it's not that much. Now if you don't oil your blades and you don't get them sharpened, and this is broken, this is full of carbon, the motor's hot, it's warped, we got a lot of vibration in the clipper, well, you're going to need a new motor to take care of that vibration. You're going to need a new cam to fix the bearing, and you'll most likely need a new drive, and then you're looking at a $90 repair. So it's important to take care of your equipment. It makes your job easier and funner. So this clipper runs. It doesn't sound too bad. The hinge, we check. The hinge is fine. So we're going to go ahead and pop that back up. I don't know why it's sitting down. We'll go ahead and test this with a blade. So this looks fine, right? I can tell you this probably leaves lines. Okay, how can I tell? Well, because there's these little gaps on these sides here. And when this bar gets bent, this wobbles. Which, well, yeah, see, so you can see it wobble. See, it's not moving, and the bearing is not moving, it's locked in place. But look at the drive moving around on the bearing. See that little play in there? That's bad. We don't want that, because that will leave little bitty lines, little mohawks going down your cut. So I would recommend a blade drive on this, and maybe a drive. We'll take it apart and look at it. So that one's done. Well, let me check the cord. The cord's good. So that one needs a blade drive and a hinge. No, not a hinge, I'm sorry. The hinge was good. Okay, so this is a cordless wall. It doesn't come on at all. We're gonna go ahead and plug it into the charger. So it does get power. You can see the light. I don't know if it's, there it is. And it works. Okay, so that tells me it might be a battery problem. We'll have to take it apart and look. But if this turns off when I unplug it, it's most likely the battery. Okay, so that's most likely the battery. So we'll have to take a look at that. I notice her lever is rounded. That's not good, because then it doesn't sit down in the blade. And we'll go ahead and check the hinge. The hinge I can lift up with my hands, so that's not good. We'll have to replace that. This does not sound good. So we'll go ahead and look at it. See how there's orange on there? That already tells me they don't oil their blades. So in general, this repair will be more than this one, because they oil their blades on this one. And as you can tell, it's it hit left to right so hard it knocked this screw out, because they don't oil their blade. If they oiled their blade, I promise you that screw would be there. So we'll check the cam. Lock the cam, try to lock it. And it doesn't really look like the cam's broken. We won't be able to tell until we get a new one of those on there. The hinge is fine. The cord is fine. Then we got a wall cam 10 here. It runs, that's good. Got a hinge we could lift up. Well, we might as well replace it, because we want this to latch down, or then the blade lifts up when it's going in the hair, and then we get problems. So I noticed this cord down here has a little tape on it, so I'm gonna, well, a lot of tape, so I'm gonna go ahead and recommend replacing the cord. Yeah, and that needs a blade drive, or a lever, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so let's get down to work and get these bad boys running. Please don't work on anything if you've never worked on anything before. I'm not liable if anything happens. So now on the battery here, it looks like it was dropped and it came undone, so we'll just repair that. And hopefully it works. If not, they'll need a new battery. I'm pretty sure it'll work. So we're just going to take these apart and clean them and put them back together and replace good parts on them and save them money and time because it's gonna work 100% when they get it back, just like new. And yeah, you'll enjoy your job still. So let's get to work. Alright, so now it's time to test, and like I said, anyone can fix your clipper by replacing parts. Sure, if I replaced every single part in this clipper, I can guarantee 100% it will work. But why you send it to me is because I try to get you out of here at 100% working for the cheapest amount of cost to you. So that's what you're paying for, is my expertise, and to get your clippers working at the cheapest form possible and still work 100%, because it's important for the blade to cut. So let's go ahead and test these and see if they work. So that's number one. Sounds pretty good. We'll try it with the blade. Latches nice and good, no sound when you try to stop the blade. Very nice. Here's the cordless one. It had a disconnected battery. So it works now. It's flashing, maybe it needs to be charged. Has a little sound in the front. It'll go away soon once it works its way out of there. And it's going dead. So that needs to be charged because the battery was disconnected. They must have dropped it and then it came off the PC board. But I'm sure it will charge now and work great. So that sounds a lot better. Nice and healthy. So there we go. And we'll try this. Oh, that sounds beautiful too. So that sounds good too. Make a little noise, we'll fix that. This was the clipper that didn't have oil on it, and I could tell because it was all orange. And see, so now there's something warped on the plastic that's making a little noise. I'll take this back apart and probably put another seal around this so it doesn't, it's vibrating a little bit inside, probably because it got so hot trying to move that blade. But I'll go ahead and fix that. Well, thank you for this wonderful adventure. It was so much fun, and please do not hesitate to use my services. We are basically 24/7 mail at any time. We'll get back to you anytime we can. Have a good day, and thank you for joining me, and please subscribe and comment as much as you can. Thanks. Bye.